Hi friends, it's Parvati here from Visionary Veda, and today I would like to discuss with you all a very important topic of a very impactful solar eclipse that will be happening on December 25th or 26th, depending on where you are in the world. It's going to be majorly impactful, and it's probably most likely going to have an impact that can change the course of not only your own personal life, but the course of the direction of the entire world. So it's quite a serious topic, and so in order to keep things brief, what I'm going to do is this is going to be just a short, brief introduction video. What I would like to do is then make subsequent videos going a little bit deeper into each event that I would like to cover. So the first event that I would like to cover is happening on December 25th or 26th. It's a solar eclipse in the nakshatra of Mula. Now, you guys have heard me talk about Mula Nakshatra in the past. Mula is the nakshatra, or the planetary abode, or the place in the sky, the fixed place in the sky, where that aligns with the center of our galaxy. It's the galactic center. This is where we receive impulses, cosmic inspirations, cosmic insights, motivations, higher vibrational knowledge for us to integrate into and awaken us and integrate into our lives. It's a very profound and very far-reaching and also a very destructive nakshatra. The ruling deity of this nakshatra is Niriti, which you could even, if you could fathom an even more wrathful form of Kali, this would be the goddess Niriti. And she's the goddess of obliteration. But because it's the galactic center, it's in the zodiac sign of sidereal Sagittarius, right? So this is the sign that's ruled by Jupiter. And the nakshatra Mula is ruled by Ketu. So the energy is benevolent. The cosmic insights that we get are for our growth, for our expansion, for our wisdom, our growth in consciousness. So even though there is a destructive feel to this nakshatra in this area of the zodiac, it is of benefit. So think of it as like just ripping out the weeds from a garden and then planting the seeds that you wish to cultivate with this newfound knowledge, insight, awareness that you've received from the grace of the Mula Nakshatra. So hope this gives you an idea of Mula and its energies. So during the eclipse, so as of a few weeks ago, we had Jupiter in Mula Nakshatra. And Jupiter moved into Mula Nakshatra on November 5th. So at that time, we were getting insights and inspirations, and our minds were becoming more attuned to like higher truths of existence, you know, and we're seeing through lies. We're seeing through, you know, because Jupiter is the guru. And when this planet transits Mula, it's going to open your eyes to falsities. It's going to make you see through what's not real, you know, lies, conspiracies, deceit, and so on. So, okay. So we had we had Jupiter moving through Mula, and there shortly thereafter, a few weeks later, we had Venus go through Mula Nakshatra as well. And remember, I did a video about this, that it's the two gurus that have very opposite ways of looking at the world. One is the spiritual guru, Jupiter, and the other is the materialistic guru, which is Venus. And both are needed in this realm. So then we start to see, maybe through our relationships, maybe through our habits, maybe through our environment, maybe through our reflections, through other people, aspects of ourselves that we would like to aspire to. So now we have Venus going through, past its conjunction with Jupiter. It's going to be conjuncting Saturn during the full moon, which is the first topic I wanted to discuss in my next video. And that is happening on December the 12th. The full moon will be happening in the constellation in the nakshatra of Mrigashira, which is in sidereal Taurus. So this is going to bring up, because the Sun and Mercury are in sidereal Scorpio, this is going to bring up into our awareness places within our psyche where we have been stopped, where we're stopping ourselves, where patterns that we are continually creating. It's going to bring into illumination. We're going to be able to see it from another perspective. These psychological workings and barriers to our growth and growth in consciousness. So yeah, I'll do a whole video about the nakshatra and the significations about the full moon after this one. So the second thing I'd like to talk about is what I've kind of touched on, which is the solar eclipse that's happening on the 25th, 26th of December. If you're in California, it's actually happening at 9:11 p.m. And this eclipse is going to be of huge significance, not only to each of us as an individual, but to the world at large. It can create economic crises, social unrest, natural calamities, diseases, just a lot of upheaval, because the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, and Jupiter, and Ketu, the South Node, are all coming together in the nakshatra of Mula. So this is huge. I mean, this is really the meat of what I wanted to talk about in this video. This conjunction and this eclipse is going to change our world. It's going to change our realities, okay? And I'll do another video on it, but just really quickly, I don't want to scare anybody, because it's also an opportunity to begin anew, seriously begin anew from another level of consciousness, from another level of awareness. But sometimes to get rid of the old, it can be painful. So like I said, I'll go into this in another video. Just know the significations of Jupiter, Mercury, Sun, Moon, and Ketu, right? It's the past life karmas coming to fruition. It's for our higher knowledge, for our higher advancement, for waking us up to higher spiritual truths, and stop sleeping and pretending things aren't at stake. Our lives will reflect the things that we need to let go of. Things will be taken away from us. Let go of them. People will pass. Just know that it's a very karmic time to pass. So it's actually, I'm going to say, a good time, because you're aligned with the galactic center. So it's kind of a straight shot to source, and yeah, just take this as a cosmic weather or an energetic weather report. It's good to know that these things are happening. I mean, you probably already know that they're happening based on what's happening in reality. But it is going to start coming to quite a culmination. So just be prepared. And when it does happen, the best thing to do during an eclipse is to really not be intoxicated under any kind of an influence, not like just be mindlessly watching television, but use this time as for your benefit. To really center and stabilize within yourself. In my other video, I'll also talk about a couple little practices that we can do during times of intense energetic and materialistic change. So that was the second thing. And the third thing that I would like to make another video about, but I would like to bring up here, is later on in January, we're going to have the conjunction of Pluto and Saturn in Sagittarius. So right before the eclipse, on December 25th, we're going to have Mercury moving into Sagittarius. We're going to have Ketu, Sun, Moon, Jupiter. And we're going to have Saturn and Pluto. And they're also in Sagittarius, but they're a little bit further away from where the eclipse is going to be happening. Now, usually in Vedic astrology, we don't discuss the outer planets. So we don't take into account Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto. However, I feel that this is important to bring up because Saturn in Sagittarius has shown us our karma with democracy. See, Saturn is all about the karma. Saturn brings the karma so that we have to do the work to get through it. For many years, I think a lot of us in the West have taken our democracy for granted, right? And especially in the States. And Saturn in Sagittarius has awakened us to see that, hey, you know, like, we need to work to keep it intact, because otherwise, you know, like, it might not be there. So Saturn represents democracy. Saturn represents the people. Saturn is a servant. It's there to serve the people. It represents the working class. It represents the laborers. It represents democracy. Pluto is really deep transformation. It's sudden, it can be abrupt, it's likened to the energy of Shiva, like destruction, annihilation, right? So it could go in one of two ways. It could go in a way where democracy is restored because we see that the changes we see what changes need to be made, and we're willing to put the work or the karma or the action behind it, or something will happen to cause us to put the work and the effort behind it, or something may happen because Sagittarius is a sign of higher ideals and also principles and also religion, also religious fanatics, dogma, like very rigid. Think about a judge, right? Very orthodox. Or something could happen in that sign of Sagittarius with Saturn and Pluto that changes democracy in a destructive way. So these are just the energies. You know, as we know, we don't know. Life is the master, you know, and will unfold as it should. We have to always keep that in mind. But it's good to know that if you're aware and you are wanting to work towards positive changes and growth, and you are wanting to rid and make room, that we could do it in a constructive way. So that was supposed to be my short video. I thank you so much for listening and for receiving my what I have to share. I will make a few more videos following this one with a little bit more detail on each of the 3 events I outlined. And until next time, enjoy the life. Thank you so much. Take care.